Tempers flared last week when an act of sabotage turned an average Joe's intimate moment into a shipwreck.
We just blew something up.
And then the impact spilled over into elimination night.
Whoever gets voted off will be shocked.
As 4 more guys joined the bus ride home from Hawaii and out of Larissa's life.
I represented the little guy. I outlasted 16 other guys. I'm pretty proud of what I've done.
Now, 6 guys remain.
My instincts tell me that I have 6 great guys still here tonight.
3 average Joes and 3 of the new recruits.
I can't believe I'm standing here right now. I am absolutely one of the happiest guys around.
I've heard that men make judgments about women based on what their mothers look like.
They think the twists and turns are all over with, but they couldn't be more wrong. Tonight, they're told Larissa's mom is flying into Hawaii to meet them and ask a few questions.
The parents usually like me more than the kid does.
It sounds believable enough, but there's an epic twist. It's the setup, the sting, the hidden cameras.
Dude, you might as well tie the rope right above you and hung yourself.
Who will fail the test?
What makes a woman sexy to you?
As the mother of all twists is finally revealed tonight.
Oh, man, this show's got everything.
A beauty queen searching for her handsome Prince Charming. Instead, she meets a new breed of bachelors. This is the story of a beauty and the average Joe.
Today, we're gonna go to a place to go glass blowing. And we're gonna have Gil, Jim, and Michael Cardamone.
I'm pretty good working with my hands. I'm kind of excited to try it, and hopefully I'll be good at it. I'm really not that artistic, but any more time we get to spend with Larissa is just a bonus.
Since I really haven't had that much alone time, I just kind of took it into my own hands and pulled her aside, and I said, let's partner up.
I think you need to make an animal that has a flat tail and buck teeth.
I was poking fun with Michael Cardamone so much because I know he can take it.
Oh, come on, use those muscles.
We're at each other's throats like we're a married couple.
Come on, you little beaver. You dirty beaver.
This whole drama thing that was played out from the beginning, to be honest with you, I think it was sort of a blessing.
What is this?
I don't know what happened, but it looked like a big piece of dung by the time he was done with it.
Looks like roadkill.
It was really nice to just have a good time and laugh. I mean, I was laughing so hard with him.
Hi, look what I made you.
Oh my gosh, I'm impressed. You're an expert.
I stayed up all night. I can't get a good read on if I'm in there or if I'm not. I know you've gotten to know like 26 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me one thing you haven't told them.
One thing I haven't told them?
About yourself.
Well, you tell me. I told you a couple of things, and I'll let that marinate.
You're back on me now, huh?
Yeah.
I think he's got so many great qualities, but he definitely has this wall.
I'm trying not to be as closed off.
I do feel that we've got a good foundation started, but it might not be as good as someone else's.
Come over here.
When I got a chance to talk to Jim, I pulled him aside because he's very affectionate.
You make me really nervous.
What?
You give me butterflies.
Good or bad?
Good ones. I feel like I have a crush on you.
I can't explain it, but Jim just makes me really giddy.
I could sit here all day.
I know. It's comfortable. You fit in my arms good.
Yeah.
There's a very good comfort level between us. Just we can hang out, stare in each other's eyes, and it's comfortable. I feel pretty good, the fact that Larissa has told me she has a crush on me. I feel pretty comfortable that I'm going to be here for a little while yet.
I am literally the only one that hasn't had alone time, and this is my time to shine. It's now or never.
Why should I choose you over the other guys for tonight?
You've seen it where I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole. My arms are tired. I don't want to dig any more holes. I want you to see my serious side.
He's got this quirkiness about him, and it's just easy to be around him.
I like that you fessed up to everything, like right off. See the serious side of it, but it's not a big deal.
I always try to make a negative into a positive, which I do.
They're all completely different, and I'm so confused, and I'm like, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I want anymore.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
So, out of the complete purpose of fairness, even though he probably doesn't deserve a chance and has done everything wrong since the beginning and could use a shoehorn to help get his foot out of his mouth, Michael, would you like to go on a date with me tonight?
I would love to.
We were up 9,000 feet in the Mauna Kea National Park at the top of a volcano. Everything was so beautiful, and it was just so romantic.
As the sun was going down, the clouds were going down lower and lower and lower. And it's the most surreal experience I've ever seen in my life, because you literally look out on this blanket of clouds, which is reflecting the sun setting. It's red and orange, and the mountains are purple, the sky is still blue in some places, and it's just a rainbow of colors, and the lines and the shapes, it's unbelievable. It's so surreal.
Yeah, it is. I'm so in awe right now. Words can't even explain. It seemed like the heavens opened up, and I tell you what, it looked like we were in heaven. We were on top of the world. It literally looked like you could walk out on the clouds and touch the sun.
Can't even say anything.
Oh, I don't even want to. I might. I might say something. God knows what I'm going to say. Just gotta keep my mouth shut. No more shoehorns. No more shovels. I don't know if it was just the scenery. I don't think it was, but something clicked up there. I hope it doesn't happen, but if I died tonight, I'd be a very happy man. She blew me away, and I didn't expect it to be that quick.
I think this is the most quiet I've heard you since you've been here.
It is. I told you I have my moments. I'm not as loud and obnoxious as everyone makes me out to be. I've got a quiet, serious side. I promise.
Michael wasn't one of the guys initially that stood out to me right away, but little by little, he's been growing on me. He just has this interesting, like, yin and yang balance to him that you don't see in a lot of the other guys. And I feel like everything he says to me is completely sincere.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now. With anybody else.
I can't remember the last time I've ever seen the first star come out.
See any stars yet?
Oh, I know. We have to watch the first one and then make a wish.
We finally saw one. Michael spotted it first.
Straight up.
I see a cloud. Maybe you have better vision than I do. Oh, I see it now.
See it? See it?
Okay, wait, it has to be
wish.
wish. Wait, starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. You look at reality shows and how often do people actually stay together? And like, how great would it be to say that I wished and said, I wish that I could find the love of my life being here. And if that happens, it would be great. So that was my wish. What's your wish?
Nah, if I told you that, it won't come true. I wish that I would be the last man standing, and I'd be the one with Larissa. She's very amazing.
The moment was so magical that you get caught up in it.
It was like I was in a dreamland. When you make that connection on a good kiss, that makes it even that much better. Being up that high, I got a little weak in the knees. Honestly, I am so speechless right now. The experience that I had tonight, I'll never forget this as long as I live. So the date went well. Date went well. Yes. You like the serious side?
Yes, but I like the fun side too. Yes, I'm falling for Michael. Yes.
Still to come, the visit from Mom with an epic twist.
Every detail was perfect.
They'll try to make a good impression, then they'll talk about her behind her back. What is on the hidden camera tape?
Dude, you might as well tie the rope right above you and hung yourself.
Who fails the test?
Oh, man. Speechless.
When the truth is revealed tonight.
I'm gonna go explore lava tubes today with Brian Worth, Tony, and Fredo. And that night, I would choose somebody to go swimming with manta rays.
What's your step?
What if one of those rocks fell and hit us? Like this real nice thought.
Let's think positive thoughts.
All the caves I'd been in were extremely manicured, but this one was very rocky, very dangerous, and you had to watch your footing.
That one's wobbly.
It was pretty treacherous.
Oh, ow!
But I think that made it that more exciting.
Okay.
Oh my God, look at that.
Wow!
Don't touch it, Brian.
We continued down through the cave, and wouldn't you know, there was a tiki idol down there.
Ooh.
Don't touch it, kid. These things bring good luck.
What if there was another detonator in the living room?
We approached the idol, we were all surrounded by it, and the thing that kept sticking in everybody's mind was the detonator. And we're just like, oh, should we even touch it?
Should I go for it?
Yep.
All right.
The thing is, you know, I mean, does anything ever good happen from one of these things?
Not usually.
As the sun sets, only the man that carries this idol will continue this adventure.
We decided to sit down and have a one-on-one and expressed our feelings of, you know, why we wanted this date.
You nervous?
I'm always nervous when I talk to you.
Really?
I'm very comfortable,
You don't
but
seem nervous.
it's inner nervousness. When you feel something about someone, you get a little bit of nervousness in you. I'm the kind of person that gets scared walking into relationships. I'm willing to open myself up because she's so true and her values are so strong.
And I kept thinking back to that first date that we had, and I thought it was so great, but you really surprised me. Like, family's a huge thing for you and the work that you've done with kids. And one of the greatest things about Fredo is that he is a giver.
You know, I was about to call the whole thing quits.
I'd be so upset if you called the whole thing quits.
Well,
So if you call it quits, then I have to call it quits.
So,
You can't quit.
I've called it quits in relationships when I probably shouldn't have, but I'm not going to run away. This is going to be different. I got very upset thinking that, you know, I wouldn't see you anymore.
I want you to be here. I want you to know that. I had a great time with you, and I feel like I have something special with you they don't have with anybody else here. If you left, I'd be really upset.
All right, I won't go anywhere.
You promise?
I promise. I promise. I'm glad you're telling me that. It means a lot to me.
Well, you mean a lot to me.
Yeah, you mean a lot to me, too. And here we are. We have our helmets on and everything, so I'll lean over and I'll give you a very safe kiss.
Okay. No headbanging.
Mm-mm. I've had some unforgettable kisses with her, and there was just something about that one. It seemed to mean even more.
Good to see you.
I was the last one to speak with Larissa one-on-one, and got a nice hug, and kind of just doing a little catch-up. I was gonna bust out the sketch pad, but I don't know, I'm having a really hard time getting motivated to do something again.
Tony was still kind of serious and still kind of like hanging on to the anger because of the boat sabotage. I didn't feel that way by the end of it. I was kind of like, you know, this is really funny. And I wish he maybe saw that a little bit more. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna meet you up outside. I'm gonna think about my decision, and I'll see you in a little bit. Well, guys, I have consulted the Tiki, and he came to a conclusion telling me that the cave spirits would be really upset if I didn't choose Fredo for this evening. It's been a while since we had our date, so I would love if you would come with me this evening.
I'd love to. I was really, really excited to get the private date. The more adventures and the more stuff that we do together, the more our friendship, you know, adds another block to the foundation of a possible something.
We had a chat before the boat arrived, and I got a lot of insight to Fredo, particularly how he'd been hurt in a relationship before.
And I just found out all this stuff about her that she totally lied to me about. I was just devastated, you know. Some guy showed up at my house. I'm like, what?
It turns out that this woman had been married, and that she was basically using him.
She's at the house with her husband.
Oh my gosh.
And she's clearing her stuff out, and everything was gone. The shelf paper,
Oh my.
the curtains, the blinds, everything. So I feel really good to share that with Larissa because there's things that I don't share with really a whole lot of people because you don't have that comfort level. I'm scared if I get too close to someone that I give too much, you know?
Fredo has a very rough, tough exterior, but he does have a very sensitive side. He's a very giving person. So do you feel like you're ready for a relationship now?
I've been ready the last year.
Yeah.
I think I felt myself connecting a little more with Larissa. Well, there's a comfort level now.
Look, the light's gone. Oh my God, those things must be huge.
Going out on the boat to go swimming with the manta rays, I was like sick to my stomach nervous.
What do they eat? Are there any sharks in the water? Jellyfish?
Larissa was really nervous to swim with the manta rays. She was just flipping out. I actually didn't think she was going to get in the water. Howdy-ho, sister.
You can see like these huge shadows just going over the light. Just very scary and overwhelming. Having Fredo there definitely helped me feel more comfortable doing it. There's more and more plankton that are gathering around the light because they're attracted to the light. There's these huge manta rays, and they're so graceful. I mean, it's like they're dancing in the water for us.
It's just a whole nother world down there, you know? It was incredible. It was unbelievable. It was like swimming with aliens.
And there's a couple of times I grabbed his hand in excitement and in the moment, just like, wow, this is so cool.
Oh my God, that's
It was very romantic, so I was kind of snuggling next to him. He's such a big, tough guy, I can't help but feel affection for him. So I laid my head on his shoulder, and I just kind of got close to him. When I think of Fredo, I definitely think of somebody that's a protector, that he's going to keep me safe and warm and cozy.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for inviting me. It was one of those dreams that actually did come true. What more could you ask for in such a beautiful place like Hawaii, with such a beautiful person like Larissa? You can't tell me that's not a dream come true. I would love to have someone like that in my life.
Up next,
It was pretty nerve-wracking today.
we know how they treat a beauty queen like Larissa.
Can't wait to see what they say behind my back.
But what happens when they get a glimpse into the future? Whose love will stand the test of time? And who will be stung
Can't believe it.
by the ultimate twist tonight?
This experience has taught me a lot about how unfair it is to judge people based on looks or just first impression.
How are you?
Tony, right?
So you're from St. Louis?
I'm from St. Louis.
Looking back at the first night, there's times when I just wanted to bail out, but that would have been a huge mistake. Now the question is, are the guys guilty of making the same shallow judgments that I did? And I've heard that men make judgments about women based on what their mothers look like because they anticipate that that's what their future wife might come to look like. So, to find out how true that is, we set up an elaborate scheme. We told the guys that they were going to meet my good friend Sarah and that we were flying my mom in all the way from St. Louis.
They didn't know the major twist. My mom was actually going to be me in disguise.
We started this whole process months ago, before I ever met any of these guys, with a process called live casting. We got the best special effects people from Hollywood who are known for doing monsters and aging in all the major Hollywood films. They covered my head with this special gel so that they could make an exact replica of my face. Honestly, it felt like I was being buried alive. I can breathe again. A small fortune was spent to make sure that every detail was perfect. We knew that that was the only way that we were going to be able to fool the guys. The day that it was all going down, I woke up early in the morning to spend hours getting ready to become my mother. So I'm gonna have large nostrils, warts, crow's feet.
Yep.
In real life, my mom is beautiful, but to really put the guys to the test, we put them in an extreme situation and presented my mother as somebody who was overweight, old, wrinkled. To make me look overweight, I put on this really heavy bodysuit.
Oh my God.
And it was hot and humid and uncomfortable and hard to move in. And I had these chemicals put on my face that smelled like rubber cement. They stretched my skin out and put on a special makeup so that when you let go, your skin compresses and it causes all these wrinkles. And then I had age spots sprayed on my hands. I even had a wart on my face that had hair growing out of it. Ew, you're cutting the hair coming out of my wart?
It's a little long.
Just for the record, my mother does not have any warts. There were just so many details. I had to wear false teeth. I had to wear glasses. I had to wear a wig. And I had to wear colored contact lenses to cover up the color of my eyes. The end result? I put on more than 30 years and over 100 pounds. Finally, everything was ready and everything was in place, and it was time to put the guys on the spot. First step was to make the guys think that I was somewhere else, so the thought that I could be the mother would never, ever cross their minds. To set that up, just as the guys were coming back to their house, we had a body double who looked like me, who was saying goodbye to my mother. From their vantage point, it looked like I was hugging my mom, and I jumped back into the car and drove off as they came in.
Oh, they're leaving.
So the guys were sure they were seeing me leaving. This was the perfect plan. The guys think they're going to talk to my mom and my friend Sarah. But the trap is, when they go back to the living room, it's wired with hidden cameras and microphones, and I will hear everything they have to say about me as my mother.
Parents usually like me more than the kid does, so I don't have anything to worry about.
Still ahead,
What makes a woman sexy to you?
will all the guys fall for the act, or will Larissa's cover be broken?
Nice to meet you, Mrs. Meek.
Who will take the bait and pay the price when they are faced with the giant reveal tonight?
Today, we all faced a grueling interrogation by Larissa's mom, Mrs. Meek, and one of her best friends, Sarah.
I'm just gonna go and be myself, man. Like, I won't stick my foot in my mouth.
Like we're getting ready to go to the guillotine or something like that. Let's stick our heads. We were sitting at the kitchen table, and, you know, we were going to be brought in to meet both of them one by one.
Burritos first. Nice.
I'm sure she's a tough Ukrainian Russian woman, you know?
Hey, you got nothing to worry about, man. Just be yourself.
I know.
You'll be all right.
I know, I'll be good. I'm excited. I like moms. First thing she tell me is get a haircut.
If Larissa asked you to cut your hair, would you do it?
Absolutely.
The first guy up for the interviews was Fredo, and I have to admit, I was really nervous because I was hoping that nobody was going to catch on to this.
What is the most physically unattractive quality a woman can have?
Short hair.
He had no idea, and he was taking every question seriously.
What makes a woman sexy to you?
Her personality. Really important. Personality is a huge, huge thing for me. I didn't try to get on her mom's good side. I went in there being myself, as I usually do. I think it's kind of a, you know, an odd situation for her walking into something like this just as well as it was for all of us.
It was so hot and so uncomfortable, but if I gave any hint away that it was me, it would have blown the whole thing. If one guy knew, every guy would know, and this experiment would not have been a success.
Tim, describe the most emotionally damaging thing you've ever done to a woman.
I don't know if he was nervous to look at me, like he was afraid to look at me. Didn't have a whole lot of eye contact, so I was a little nervous to think maybe Jim might have figured it out.
Basically, she was in the chair firing questions at us, and, you know, she was very straightforward, and I'm sure, based on what I know of Larissa, that she's a nice woman. She has to be, you know, to raise a daughter like that.
What is the most physically unattractive quality a woman can have?
I mean, I was expecting, hi, what's your name, what do you do, stuff like that. Oh, physical. Physical. When that came flying at me, I was like, wow, I'm gonna throw something out there, bad hands or something, maybe.
Why is that?
I don't really know. I was just throwing something out there and say something, they caught me off guard, I'm sorry.
bad hands. That was probably my worst answer ever. I don't know where it came from. It was just the first thing that popped in my mind.
After the first couple interviews, maybe after gym, I started to get more comfortable with it, and I was a little less nervous about the guys catching on.
What makes a woman sexy to you?
A lot of things. Sense of humor, a good head on her shoulders, stuff like that.
Cool.
Sarah seemed really nice, so I was trying to focus on her, and Larissa's mom was doing much like I would do, just sit back and take in the situation.
Nice to meet you.
I looked at Mrs. Meek when I first walked in.
Tony.
Didn't really see, any of Larissa in the mother.
Larissa finishes a new painting and is obviously proud of it, but you hate it. Do you give her an honest critique?
Personally, I think I would like anything that she did. Miss Meek was probably raised as a traditional Ukraine girl by her grandparents. I'm sure she has no grasp of this kind of show and why someone would want to do this, and I think she was a little embarrassed.
Would you have a problem living next to your mother-in-law?
She obviously wasn't having a good time being there. Maybe she was a little self-conscious about being on camera herself, possibly because of her weight. But I answered the questions honestly, and I think it went well.
It's extremely important that Mrs. Meek liked me because in my experience of dating, the mother is a gigantic influence on a female's life. Huge.
Hi, nice to meet you, Mrs. Meek. I walked in, and her mother looked pretty strict.
What is the most physically unattractive quality a woman can have?
Physically unattractive quality. I didn't really look at her too closely because I was a little nervous. I didn't want to look directly at her. She had a look on her. Bad. It was kind of like some burning eyeballs on me. Bad hair. Mrs. Meek was, is an attractive woman, though.
So you're given tickets to Game 7 of the World Series, okay?
Okay.
And it is the Boston Red Sox.
I just heard that, and all of a sudden, I knew it was coming. I didn't hear what the other team was. It doesn't matter. It's Game 7 of the World Series.
But sadly, Larissa has an art exhibit opening.
Okay.
And it's on the same night.
You're killing me here.
What are you going to do?
It's the worst case scenario. Definitely, without a doubt, go to the art exhibit. Can't tell my buddies this. They'd kill me. That would be important for me to do that, to show that I was interested in. I would take a ration of crap from all my buddies, but if I wasn't interested in what she did, then that would be wrong, and we probably shouldn't be in a relationship.
Hi.
I'm usually really good at meeting someone's mother, and especially her best friend. Actually, it ends up that the mother likes me more than the girl that I'm pursuing, but it was pretty nerve-wracking going in there today.
Larissa tells me that you've done some questionable things since you've arrived.
Yes, I have. Came out blasting. She really did.
Describe the most emotionally damaging thing that you have ever done to a woman.
That I have ever done to a woman? Broken up with her. I barely got a high in.
What is the most physically unattractive quality a woman can have?
Most physically unattractive? Oh, boy. That's an interesting question. Someone who's just looks like she's lazy, doesn't keep herself in shape, so.
Wow. I'm sitting here thinking, oh boy, what did you just do? Thanks a lot, Michael. You just insulted me.
After I said that, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Larissa's mother shaking her head and writing something down, so obviously that wasn't a good enough answer for her.
The whole reason that Michael's answer was insulting was the fact that I'm sitting in this suit as an overweight person, and he's basically calling me lazy, that I let myself go. He had no idea that what he was saying could have been an insult. The thought went in his brain, and it went right out of his mouth without any precaution or any hesitation.
Thank you.
The guys were told that my mom was so upset after what Cardo said that she demanded to leave the island and go back home.
Apparently, Mrs. Meek took exception to some of the things that were said, and we really didn't get a chance to talk with her at all after that.
I can't wait to see what they say behind my back.
The hidden camera tapes that reveal all arrive at Larissa's door, along with another surprise.
I know that you're a heavy woman.
Up next, the full story.
Look at a girl's mother, and that's what your wife or girlfriend might look like down the road.
Her reaction to the video, and the impact at the elimination tonight.
When the guys heard that my mom had left in anger, they decided to make a personal videotape message to her.
Mrs. Meek, I had a little feeling that, had a big feeling that you were upset about the comment that I made. I know that you're a heavy woman, and I just can't apologize for wanting someone who takes pride in making themselves, whether it's looking good or feeling good, because the motto that I've kind of lived by is a healthy body, healthy mind. But I just don't want you to misinterpret it. I mean, I'd be a fool to say something to totally disrespect you. Obviously, I'm trying to win your daughter's hand here, and I mean, I've done some stupid things, but not that stupid. I really care for your daughter, and I want to be here at the end to take care of her.
I don't know. He's such a warm person. He's so fun to be with. Yeah, he opened up his mouth and said what he shouldn't have said to my mother, but his apology was very sincere, and, you know, I don't know. I think he means well.
Hi, Mrs. Meek. My name's Gil. I had the opportunity to briefly meet you today. I'm sorry that, you were not so comfortable in the situation. I was not real comfortable when I first got here, so I can relate. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of each other later.
Hi, Miss Meek. It's Tony. I know this isn't ideal in terms of the way you wanted your daughter to meet someone, and believe me, it's not ideal for me. Just know that I think your daughter is extremely special, and I can't wait to get to know more about her and let her know more about me.
It was nice to meet you today. Sorry it was under such circumstances where you weren't comfortable for whatever reason. Really getting close to your daughter, and I feel really good about what's going on here, and hopefully you will too after you have a chance to talk with her about it.
Your daughter Larissa is absolutely amazing. I'll be honest with you, I do have feelings, for your daughter, and these feelings, I'm getting feelings that I've never had before. I've always had a wall up, a box around my heart, and it feels like it's coming down. And I think your daughter is the one I would like the walls to come down for. I am just so impressed with Larissa, and I have so much respect for her.
Family is very, very important to me. Family values, traditions are very important to me. I was raised by my grandparents, my mother, and she's probably one of, and is the best friend in my life right now. You do have a wonderful daughter. Her beauty shines, from the inside out.
After watching the guys each give a personal message to my mother, I had the opportunity to watch the hidden camera videotape. Some of these guys are already walking on thin ice, so it'll definitely have an impact on the eliminations.
What did you answer the most physically unattractive thing?
When a girl doesn't smile.
Oh,
What did you say?
when somebody's lazy and she doesn't keep herself in shape.
Dude, you might as well tie the rope right above you and hung yourself.
Open mouth, insert foot.
Dude. Larissa's mom is heavy. She's heavy. And, you always look at a girl's mother, and it's always the first thing in the back of your mind. As a guy, that's what your wife or girlfriend or whatever might look like down the road. I was thinking big ass,
She was small?
no ankles.
Very serious.
I was thinking about them all. If I'm dating a girl, I want her to look good, not perfect, but just at least take care of yourself in a way that, because I know a lot of girls who don't take care of themselves and they're miserable bitches, and that's all they do is talk about, oh, I do that. If Larissa was extremely overweight, it would take a lot for me to be interested in her right now, and that's the honest to God truth right there.
I think I was surprised that he said it would take a lot for him to be interested in me if I was overweight. Obviously, he's really interested in somebody for their physical qualities, and maybe not so much for their personality.
Tonight, I have to eliminate 2 guys. One from the original group and one from the new group.
It's gonna be a complete night of chalked faces.
We're in the lineup, and this is a little tense. The door opens up, and in walks Mrs. Meek, and we all thought she was gone, so I'm thinking, oh my goodness, she is gonna blast us again. Here comes more questions.
I've seen hidden camera footage, and I've heard everything that you have said about me. I've always been a firm believer that Mother knows best. And the best thing right now is to reveal the truth. Surprise!
Show's got everything, huh?
Anybody else just blown away by this?
I am.
Am I the only one? I'm sorry.
Totally blown away.
Speechless. I saw her, like, from a distance giving a hug. Had this all set up.
Guys, I've learned a lot the last couple of days.
I was shocked by what I heard. And it's helped me come to my conclusions about who will go home tonight.
Probably is no surprise, but the first person going home tonight is Michael.
Thank you.
Gotta give a big hug.
Just want to say,
I love your spirit. I admire your honesty. But I just think at some point I realized that we're not meant for each other.
Okay, thank you.
But
I wish you all the luck in the world, and you got great guys behind you. Mahalo, fellas. Good luck.
Thank you.
The whole experiment with the whole mother experiment was really about judging character. It was how are they going to handle themselves in this situation. I don't mind the fact that Michael spoke his mind and said what he said. I mind the fact is how he said it, the fact that he was untactful about it.
I didn't think I was going to open my heart. I did. And in doing that, I tend to open my mouth without thinking. That's always been a problem of mine. I am not ashamed at all. I am honest. No one can look at me and call me a liar. What you see is what you get, and I've said that from the day I got here.
Tony, I'd like to talk to you. I had a great time with you, and I think that we share a lot of common interests. And one of the best things about this trip is that I've got an amazing work of art that I'm going to take home and remember everything with. And I just want you to know I think you're a great guy, and you're an amazing guy, and I've had nothing but great times with you, and I hope you'll understand.
I am going to miss Tony greatly, and it's really hard to send him home. The reason it couldn't get to the next level with Tony is I feel like we always talk about the same things. I think one of the reasons that we are so attracted to each other is because of our art background, but I feel kind of like that's where it ends.
I couldn't even say anything to her up there. I was in such shock. This is probably more different than any kind of heartbreak anybody could ever feel, because at least you would get a chance to talk to the person and get an explanation.
I got teary-eyed when Tony got eliminated. I feel absolutely terrible for him. I think that he's absolutely, positively devastated.
From day one, every time we hung out, we've had so much in common. I thought we had something going that was really special.
as dumb as I am, I had no clue who that was whatsoever. I did not know it was her. I'm like, oh my God, you know, they got the exact same eyes, you know? When she peeled that mask off, it was incredible.
She came in and pulled that off, and then the hair, and then part of me felt relieved that it was her, and then part of me was like, well, uh-oh.
I was truly fooled. I was truly fooled. I thought Carter was going to get a wicked-ass chewing.
I didn't know what to say, what to think. I was waiting for her to throw a bottle or something at me.
I really thought that she was going to walk up to Carter and bitch slap him. Either that or one of her shoes were going to fly off, get stuck in his ass, one of the two. I know women pretty well, come from an Italian family, and even though the women in my family are bigger, God forbid you ever said anything, you would be blasted through the room, and that's the bottom line.
I feel like Tony's missing a comedic dynamic to his personality. He just needs to laugh a little more. He needs to lighten up a little more. And I want to be with somebody that's always going to see the bright side of things. And I just feel like he's a little too serious sometimes.
I don't understand if I saw it coming or I didn't see the connections there. Was she lying on our dates, that she was having a great time, that she saw all these things in me? The only thing I can go on right now is that I don't look as good as the other guys. It's the only thing I can assume right now, because our personalities meshed so well. I can't believe it. The one question would be why? Why?
Thank you.